So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Tim McBurney.
Well, it's great to be here, and I really appreciate the Buffalo Foundation, the committee that worked on this so hard, Tom Omar, Travis Lindbergh, Randy, Kristen. I know there's a lot of work that's gone into this, and we really do appreciate it. There's a number of people who have bought tables here. I know Randy and Dwayne got tables, and Fred Wood got a table, and very appreciative of that. But he did tell me that I have a dentist appointment. And you know what time it is? 2:30. And just for all of you now, this is going to have some stupid jokes in here because that's part of my life. Some of you that know me know that's going to be the case. I'd like the following people to stand up, please. Joyce, my wife. Carl, Eric, Ryan, and Shelby. If I got to get up, please stand and stay standing. Mark Eastless, Luann Kenner, Manny and Alice Acosta, Jim and Rosa Wehrman, Sean, my son, Dwayne and Brandy Thompson, Cole and Caitlin, Cole's my grandson, Ed, Judy, and Judy, Kathy Alford, Justin Kaplan, Darnell Autry, and Katie Perdyman. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I'll give you, everybody can sit down. Thank you. You can all read what's in the handout, so I'm not going to be going over that. I'm going to tell you a little bit of stuff that isn't in there. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1949. My dad was a bookie. For all of you that don't know, he was a bookmaker. He used to set the odds for the largest bookie firm in America. And in 1951, two senators broke up our bookie firm, and we went to St. Louis, or to Colorado Springs, and bought a 1,000-acre ranch with cash. We know nothing about ranching. I was 2 years old at the time. After 4 years, the feds caught up with my dad. He had to go back and turn state evidence. And in 1956, we had to pay $60,000 in back taxes, which today is kind of probably a lot of money. Anyway, after my dad testified, we moved to Arizona in 1958. We opened up a Happy House candy gift and card store in Tempe Center. One thing I question is the Energizer Bunny got arrested the other day, and it was for battery. I went to Broadmoor and I went to McCamey. And Tempe High is where my sister graduated from in 1962. I set the school record in a half mile at 154.3. Unfortunately, it was nice when it happened, but now everybody knows how old I am because it still exists. In 1971, I graduated from ASU. I lettered in track, and I majored in quantitative statistics until my brother told me to go into education. Great move. I got my master's degree in 1974 from ASU, and I got a job teaching business at Tempe High School, and thanks to Alan Benedict, he hired me as a football coach at Tempe High. I started my 47-year career there. I was about to read a book about anti-gravity, and I just couldn't put it down. I coached freshman football, basketball, in 1971 for Sam Dwayne at Tempe High. After a couple years, I moved to coach wrestling with Glenn Alford, Curtis Cook, and Mike Garcia at Tempe High School. In 1972, I coached football for Jim Lambeth. These people gave me an opportunity to be with some of the greatest young men in the valley, in the state. I love Tempe High. It was my home, is where I graduated from. And I just fell in love with the school and coaching and teaching. And I got to work with some great coaches and outstanding young men and parents at Tempe High. And some of them are here tonight, and I'll introduce them. In 1972, Fred Mortensen and myself competed in the Arizona Decathlon Championships. Fred was in the high school division, I was in the open division. And Fred got second, and I won the open division, which was the first time I had ever done decathlon, but that was in thanks to John Zucco, who was my coach for the decathlon. Some of you remember who he is. After coaching basketball for a couple years old, the wrestling was my love in the mid-season between football and track. That's where I was a head coach. In 1993, Carl Harris, Jim Wehrman, and myself started the Tempe Relays, and it was called the Win-Zucco Tempe Relays. It was a great honor to two great coaches at Tempe High School. In 1984, with the help of Bill Graham, Curtis Cook and myself became security guards for the 1984 Olympics in LA. And we worked tirelessly, and we both got a gold medal for working there. That was a great honor. This is the Win-Zucco hat, and this is my Olympics hat. In 1989, with the help of Jim Foster, I was hired to work in the chain crew for the Arizona Cardinals. We got to work 3 Super Bowls and a Pro Bowl, and it was just a great experience working in the NFL, being a football coach in high school. Great experience. Grew out great athletes and very rewarding. I retired from teaching and coaching from Tempe High School in 2001. I went to Basha High School. I was able to coach my sons there, and with my wife Joyce, we had a great experience at Basha High School for 10 years. Shane, him and his wife are in Texas right now, was his wife's sister's wedding, so that's why they're not here. Brian is here tonight. He was All-State tight end, 6A, his senior year. Shane was National Football Foundation Scholar Athlete Award winner, and he was All-State athlete in track. So they both had successful careers. And then in 2011, thanks to Mark Gieslis, who's the principal at Tempe High, I went back to Tempe High as an assistant to help Brian Walker. That was a great experience, and I retired from coaching finally in 2017. I was very fortunate to have some great athletes. You're going to hear about them now. I've coached Ed Judy, please stand. He was a Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers and San Jose Buccaneers. Great athlete. Football, basketball, and track. Also, Darnell Autry, please stand. Darnell was third in the Heisman, drafted by the Chicago Bears, and he also played for the Philadelphia Eagles. He was also state champion in the 100 and the 200, and I think runner-up in the discus. Our third place in the discus. But I mean, those are great athletes right there. Then we went on to track. In 1987, we had a track team where it was state runner-ups, and that was Jim Shin, that was Flint Craig, that was Tom Gustafson, who's our president right now, and Dwight Johnson. Please stand, you guys. We got a whole table over here, Tom sponsored. Steve Douglas, stand up. Dwight Johnson was the second farthest discus throw in the nation.
Wow.
He held the state record for 35 years here in Arizona in the discus. Unbelievable athlete. and a great friend. Tempe High Hall of Fame member, Kendall Fink, the stud, please stand. He was second place in the 2 mile state meet. It's really unbelievable the coaches I got to work with. I was very fortunate. Besides these great athletes, Manny Acosta, please stand. He was the defensive coordinator when we won the state title. He was the head coach of Cleveland High School. Dwayne Thompson, please stand. Yeah. Dwayne, great addition to our staff. And both of these two I hired off the phone. Manny was in Texas. Buddy Davis, a friend of mine who I graduated with, told me about, he just hired him to be a elementary school teacher. And then I said over the phone, I said, you're hired the first day of practice at 6 a.m. at Tempe High. He drove all the way from Texas, got out of his car, and started blowing his whistle. And it was history was ever since. Dwayne, his wife said, why don't you go over to Tempe High? There's this guy over there that probably would, interview you. So I interviewed him and hired him right on the spot. And he was a great coach and a great addition. Carl Harris, who has been my friend forever, is outstanding. He was the offensive coordinator, and he is our shot distance coach, and he's a great person. And I always figured a great friend is somebody you can trust your kids, your wife, and your money with, and that's Carl Harris. The best athletic director I ever worked with was Jim Randall. He just passed away this last year, and the best principal I ever worked with, please stand, Mark Gieslis. I enjoyed working with Savannah Kenner and Mark in the Buffalo Foundation. They were the ones that got me involved with this, and this is a great organization, and it was all started by them. Mark told me one time that I had type A blood, and then I found out it was a typo. And don't you just hate it when somebody answers their own questions? I do. In closing, I'd like to thank my wife. Please stand. She has been everything to me. Everything. And besides these athletes, besides a great son, great wife. My 3 sons, Sean, please stand. Ryan, please stand. My grandson, Cole, please stand. His wife, Caitlin. Shelby, Ryan's girlfriend, please stand. This is our group that all bonds together and supports each other in everyday living. And everything is tough. The main reason I'm standing here today, though, is because in 1976, I turned my life over to God. I am standing here today because that changed my future and my life. It helped with my guidance through tough decisions and make life much clearer, and I was at peace. And I was able to be around great people who influenced my life and changed my life. And I thank you all for that. I thank again the Buffalo Foundation, Luann Kennedy, Tom Gustafson, in particular Travis Lindbergh, for the award. It means so much to me. You just don't know that Tempe High is my love. My time here is up. Have you ever tried to eat a clock? It's really time consuming. Thank you again, and have a great evening.